Hello and welcome everybody to velosphere.org. We are in the twisting hills of Lonavala and we have the Mercedes-Benz B-Class to test. The B-Class in question here is the B180 Sports, the petrol variant. And the company would like to call this car a sports tourer. We just think it's a fancy name for an MUV. This car can be easily mistaken for a small shrunken R-Class or an overgrown A-Class. I should mention that it shares its platform with the A-Class, which is not only older but also smaller in size. The MFA platform is common to not just these two cars, but it is common to all the front-wheel drive vehicles from the German manufacturer. What we see here is a design that screams Mercedes all out. It's a bold front fascia, and we again see these swooping headlamps, these curvaceous fog lamps in the bumper, a very aerodynamic structure altogether. As we move towards the rear, we see these bold rakish shoulder lines which are meshing in seamlessly into the A-pillar. As we move towards the rear, we see a very slippery, fluidic design, a very fluidic aerodynamic design across the body panels as well. In fact, this car goes ahead to claim the best-in-class drag coefficient of just 0.26. Further towards the rear end, we see the tall roofline sloping beautifully towards the bottom and the body panels merge in curvaceously to form a very crouched rear end. Unlike most family cars, the B-Class has a hint of sportiness, and this is further accentuated by this low ground stance at the rear. Also, we see these exceptionally beautiful two-piece tailgates which look even better in the dark. We have a colossal boot space that can take up, I don't know, maybe a month's worth of groceries. And if you're shopping for 2 months, and voila, you've got more boot space. And being the family car that it is, we've got a very generous parcel shelf also, which can take in your everyday stuff as well. As we step inside, we are immediately consumed by a blend of leather, chrome and a lot of aluminium. The very first thing that you notice is the multi-function leather-clad steering wheel, which takes care of all the media controls. It has got enough buttons to put a scientific calculator to shame. As we look further ahead, there is a complex array of combination switches in the steering column. This lever over here takes care of the flash lamps, the front and rear wipers, headlamps, fog lamps, indicators, all of it via just this one lever. Much lower, you've got another lever for your cruise control. You can switch on, switch off. You can also set the speed at which you want to cruise. To the right, a dedicated lever for transmission allows you to switch between drive, reverse and neutral. And if you want to go all out manual, you've also got flappy pedals in the steering wheel itself. Into the instrument cluster, you've got two chrome encircled analog readouts of the speedo and the tacho. Moving further ahead in the cockpit, we have got not one, not two, but 5 diffuser style aircon vents which do an exceptionally great job at cooling the cabin. In terms of storage space, the B-Class has got a colossal double-storied glove compartment. In the transmission tunnel, there is space for your cell phone and a 12-volt charger as well. There is some more space over here. Much further in the tunnel, you've also got a large bin which has also got a USB port and an HDMI port. Speaking of media, the B-Class has got a very ergonomically and intuitively designed jog dial which takes care of the navigation, the media menus, the audio and video control on the center console tablet. In the center console, you've also got manual controls for your radio, CD, audio, video, Bluetooth connectivity, all of it. To take care of ergonomics, you have 3 driver seating positions that can be fed into the memory for the different drivers of the family. The B-Class is globally known for its massive cabin space, and even when the driver's seat is pulled further behind, it's at its most maximum position, and at 5'9", I've still got a lot of legroom and a lot of headroom as well. And even if there were 3 of me sitting next to each other and side by side, we'd still be very comfortable on the lengthy journeys that this vehicle is meant for. Let's take a closer look under the hood and see what we find out here. The B-Class is powered by a 1.6 litre petrol engine. It's modest, it's very punchy, and it is mated to a 7-speed DCT, the dual clutch transmission, and it is almost seamless. And Mercedes being Mercedes, there is a special emphasis on safety, and if we have a closer look, we'll see a lot of crumble zones, not just in front of the engine. There's this massive crumble zone up front right here, and if we take a closer look behind, there's a lot of space between the firewall and the engine, and that is exactly what the MFA is all about. It's an all new chassis design, and it is very, very safe. In fact, this chassis design is almost got the crash results similar to that of the E-Class. And before my eagerness gets the better of me, let's hop in and take it out for a spin. The B-Class comes in with 3 driving modes: the economy, manual and the sports. The 1.6 litre direct injection petrol breathes through a turbocharger and puts out 122 PS at 5000 RPM and pulls 200 Nm of torque from 1250 all the way up to 4000 RPM. And this engine is mated to a 7-speed dual clutch transmission. And this package can be seen as a very well behaved and very modest package. That is true until you switch it to the sports mode. This family car takes on a mad aggression and does not shift at anything less than 4500 RPM. In this mode, it is brimming and gurgling with power and is eager to nosedive into the next corner. The plateau-like torque curve can be seen in action, and it is always ready to pull away some more. In the economy mode, the engine sips onto the fuel rather too prudishly, and the ECU's judgment of gear selection cannot always be trusted. In situations where you absolutely have to hit the pedal to metal, the ECU gets rather confused and the gear selection comes across as a tad bit clumsy. The cogs move up rather quickly in a fuel-efficient manner, and it's the mode you want to be in at the end of a long hard weekday and still got a small excursion to survive, hassle-free and very uninvolving. In the 200 kilometers that I've driven this car, I find the manual mode the most exciting and involving. The flappy pedals are sensational and the gear changes are seamless. Power delivery too is almost linear. The downshift overtaking is exciting as it is addictive. The B-Class has a conventional MacPherson setup at the front and a typical multi-link rear axle. And this translates into a very composed drive. There is no body roll, not a hint of pitching or squatting. In terms of handling and ride quality, the independent suspensions are a bit too stiff for Indian roads and can be uncomfortable on the dirt terrains and potholed urban roads. On the other hand, the speed-sensitive steering with variable assist and variable steering ratio is tuned to clockwork precision. In the lower speeds, it is featherlight and parking chores are a child's play. But at high-speed mode, the steering is heavy and provides a lot of feedback. There is a trace of understeer just as you push the vehicle a bit too hard through the corners, but then again it's a front-wheel drive family car, not exactly a track-prepped racing machine. Summing it up, we have a modest-looking family car that drives pretty good, has a petrol engine which can be a problem in our diesel-friendly country, but then again it is also an affordable Merc.